when my son and I moved in here.
Wait!
It wasn't as warm as we hoped.
At a party in New Orleans, the movie opens. Ben Mathias, an astrophysicist, encounters Alyssa, a local ghost tour guide. They start dating and fall in love, and their relationship culminates in marriage. Cut to a few years later, where Ben is now drinking by himself and seems to have passed away. After quitting his work, he still participates in her ghost tours and treats the visitors impolitely when they inquire about spirits. A woman named Gabby settles at the adjacent Gracie Manor with her son Travis in order to convert the property into a bed and breakfast. Travis is terrified when he encounters the ghost of a bride when he puts on his flashlight to investigate the chambers. When he goes to tell Gabby about it, she doesn't believe him until an armored vehicle approaches from behind and forces them to flee. The Hatbox Ghost, one of the ghosts, chuckles and promises a comeback. Father Kent, who was ordered by Gabby to locate someone to snap photographs of the spirits as evidence, pays Ben a visit. Until he finds out that Gabby is paying $2,000, Ben initially rejects. Ben shows up at the estate with a unique lens that he designed. Gabby takes him through every possible haunted chamber, but because he believes it's all a joke, he generally just poses for pictures. When Ben gets back to his apartment, he notices odd things happening, like wet footprints following him. When he opens his closet door, he discovers a full ocean and a boat inside, shooting water, and a harpoon, at him. Before returning to Gabby and Travis, who were anticipating his arrival because ghosts also follow them beyond the mansion, Ben finds he was being followed by the ghost of a sea captain. Ben discovers that Kent has had the exact same experience. Then he displays to the group a photograph he shot using a lens he created that can capture dark matter and in which he can make out the ghost of the sea captain. Ben agrees to stay in the mansion until he figures out why the ghosts want them there. When he tries to go to his room, he is followed by a malicious ghost that says he will be happy to take Ben's soul. Kent wants to assemble a dream team to come up with a solution to their ghost issue. They talk to Professor Bruce Davis, a specialist in paranormal events, with Ben's assistance. He has discovered the background of Gracie Manor and its first owner, William Gracie, as well as how things began to go strange after Gracie's wife Eleanor passed away from yellow fever. When Bruce wants to go to the mansion, Ben tells him no, so he tries to hide his documents until Ben and Kent try to pry them from him, and they end up getting burned. The boys also go meet Harriet, a medium who at first appears to be a fraud, but Kent thinks she genuinely has a gift. Before leaving the home and returning 2 hours later because ghosts followed her, Harriet investigates the property and offers her own evaluation of the hauntings, even claiming to see a sad spirit in one of the rooms. Ben has installed cameras throughout the mansion to record additional eerie activities in the interim. Together with Ben, Kent, Gabby, and Travis, Harriet plans a seance. They attempt to contact Gracie's ghost, but all he does is grab a pen and piece of paper and scribble, "Talk to Letta." The spirits react negatively to Harriet's attempt to call Letta, forcing her out of the mansion and into a puddle of mud. Bruce again approaches the mansion to try to join in on the ghostly fun, but he only encounters the same resistance and is forced back even further from the property, almost being run over by a truck. He is admitted to the hospital, but Ben and Gabby remove him after the spirit of the captain raises a stir inside the facility. By creating an illusion of Alyssa's soul moving through the house and then outdoors before pulling a nightmare face, the Hatbox Ghost tempts Ben outside at night in an effort to get him to leave. When Bruce disappears, the others rouse him awake, but when they locate him, he advises them to search the attic for Letta. Before the ghost bride attempts to attack him with an axe, Ben walks up there and discovers a vintage chest. When the gang opens the chest, they discover a crystal ball that houses the ghost of Madame Letta, a previous medium who Gracie had consulted for assistance. Letta informs them that Gracie tried to get in touch with her after Eleanor died. Every midnight for a year, they attempted a seance, which allowed other ghosts to pass through. One of these ghosts pretended to be Eleanor and wrote to Gracie, persuading him to leave this world and join her there. Gracie then killed himself before Letta could intervene. Letta was then imprisoned in the crystal ball by the Hatbox Ghost. Letta informs the group that he just needs one more soul to reach his goal of 1,000 souls in order to leave the mansion and gain full power. Letta claims that if they possess an object that once belonged to him, a banishment spell that Harriet has devised will work. However, Hatbox Ghost prevents them from carrying out their plan. The group begins preparing for a reverse seance in which Harriet will attempt to drive Haddock's ghost from the spirit world by entering it. Ben is conversing with Gabby when she adds that Travis's father is no longer present, leading Ben to believe that they have broken up. He develops a friendship with Travis, who reveals to him that he still speaks with his father. Ben is the one who goes into the spirit world during the reverse seance. He recognizes Gracie's ghost and pursues her while spotting other bound spirits. Gracie accuses himself of being to blame and implores Ben to stop letting Haddock's ghost take his final soul. Then Haddock appears, taunting Ben and briefly possessing him until Gabby is able to awaken him. Ben informs the group of his findings and says that Haddock promised to fulfill his request. Then, after they had a less than pleasant farewell chat, Ben tells the group what happened to Alyssa and how she died in a car accident, and Harriet understands Ben was the grieving ghost. Ben briefly has a breakdown until Bruce lightens the mood with a joke. Ben has seen the face of Haddock's ghost, so Bruce decides to accompany Ben to a sketch artist so that he can attempt to draw Haddock's from memory and then add skin to his face. This aids them in discovering that he was actually Alistair Crump, the ruthless and opulent tycoon's son who was banished from his house following the passing of Alistair's mother. After his father passed away, Alistair inherited his wealth and estate and threw numerous parties for members of the upper class who disapproved of him. Before his staff turned on him and executed him, Alistair had these people slaughtered and hidden their bodies. Crump Manor has been deemed a historical landmark now turned into a B&B, so the group thinks they may find an artifact of Crump's to banish him. Crump tries to have the mansion swallow them up when he finds out that the group is aware of his past. Ben rescues Travis and then joins Kent as the others flee the area. When they attempt to flee, the forest's trees come to life and try to harm them. Crump Manor is hosting tours that are being guided by Pat and Vic when Ben, Kent, and Travis, as well as the spirit of the captain, arrive. The three sneak away with the captain's assistance and locate a basement that Travis must traverse while the gang is preoccupied. He discovers Crump's top hat covering the skull, which he seizes and flees from. When they go back to the mansion, Harriet and Gabby are restrained, and Crump takes control of Bruce to try to seduce Ben and Kent into swallowing poison. Travis stays in the car. After being set free, Harriet attempts to do the banishment spell using the hat, but Crump escapes from Bruce's body and tosses the hat into the fireplace. Travis, meanwhile, believes he is communicating with his father's ghost. Gabby tells Ben that he has been dead for about a year, and Crump, who was duping him in the same way he duped Gracie, lures him down the basement. Just before Crump sends the other ghosts after the group, Ben manages to halt Travis. While Harriet rushes to liberate Madame Letta to assist with the banishment spell, Kent is successful in persuading the ghosts to turn on Crump. Ben offers to be the last soul before Crump corners the other people outdoors in the cemetery with his ghost army. Crump seems to assure him that he will be able to see Alyssa once again, but Ben explains that it was all a ruse to buy him some time as the other heroes emerge from the building. Letta and Harriet are given the remaining portion of the hat by Bruce when he shows up. They start sending Crump back to the underworld and his grave. He pleads with Ben to not let it happen so that Alyssa can know he truly loved her, but Ben says she already knows and kicks Crump in the face, pulling him back to hell for good. Letta returns to her crystal ball while most of the other ghosts choose not to cross over. Following that, Kent goes on to become a legitimately ordained pastor, Bruce enjoys his new friendships, and Harriet comes to believe that she is a genuine medium. Ben believes that Alyssa is watching out for him because when he returns to his apartment, he sees and adopts a stray cat named Tater Tot, which was her favorite snack. Later, Ben, Gabby, Travis, and the other spirits attend a party at the mansion where Harriet, Bruce, and Kent all attend. Ben and Travis, in the meantime, fulfill the captain's request by escorting his ghost to the water, where he can steal a boat. The ghost-filled Gracie mansion, which is the inheritance of mother and son Gabby and Travis, is haunted. To attempt and figure out what the spirits want, they enlist the assistance of retired astronomer Ben Mathias, who is still struggling with the loss of his wife Alyssa, a priest named Father Kent, a medium named Harriet, and a professor, paranormal expert named Bruce. Alistair Crump, the Hatbox Ghost, a previous tycoon who murdered members of high society as retaliation for them and his father turning their backs on him when he was a child, haunts the house. He pledged retribution after Crump was killed, and in order to fulfill his promise and escape the mansion, he requires the 1000th soul. Madame Letta tells them of a banishment spell using an item that belonged to Crump in life to try and stop him. Kent turns the ghosts against Crump after discovering his hat, and Harriet collaborates with Letta to cast the spell. Crump tries to persuade Ben to assist him so he can see Alyssa once more, but Ben kicks Crump into his grave, where he is permanently dragged back to hell. While the spirits choose to remain at the mansion now that they are friendly with Gabby and Travis, Ben is able to move on from Alyssa's passing and maintains his friendship with his new pals. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Like and share the video. Goodbye.
$3. What?
Wow.
Sorry.
They were a bit sunken.
Deep sunken.
Like a raccoon.
Beady
They
eyes.
set back.